Hello, it is Jessica Weaver, and I am so excited for today because we have Danita Young, who is the founder and owner of Booty Bands and Barbells. Thank you, thank you for coming on here because we're going to talk about a piece of our wealth is our health. And for me, without our health, our money means nothing. I want all of the people in our community to be the healthiest version of themselves while they're working. And then, especially when it comes to retirement, when they have the freedom to actually travel, to get back to the gym, to do things that they've been waiting to do for so long. So, thank you, Danita, for coming on and being a part of our community here.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. We had our first podcast with each other and we really connected on this topic and excited to be back and connecting with you more on this is great.
Yes, to bring you into our community now. How did you get started with booty bands? I
Yeah,
love
very
it, but where did this come about?
yeah, very interesting. So you hear booty bands probably a lot nowadays, but what's great is you're actually speaking to the first and the original booty bands. So that's what's really cool about this is we were the first to come out with it. If you look behind me on this wall, you can see that the industry had the rubber ones, and those were just like the flimsy. They would roll up, snap, break, and as a certified personal trainer, it was very difficult to have my clients use them because they were just not really effective. They were effective as far as like the results we were trying to get to that lifted round shaped booty, but the product itself was just terrible. So I ended up going home and making my own and just to use for my own clients. I wasn't even planning on making it any bigger than that. And it was so cute because my boyfriend over here, he's the CEO. So he's also the founder and owner. And what's great is he's like, Danita, so you've got these bands that you're selling at the gym. How much are you making them for and how much are you selling them for? And
Wow.
I was like, oh yeah, I can make them for $10 and I sold them for $10. And he just laughed, put his he just put his hands in his face and he goes, oh no, like you're that girl, like you'll give your shirt off your back. And that's obviously like the authenticity part behind this is I went into booty bands with the intention to help, not to sell them a product. And so that's really what we are blossomed off after is helping women step into their best self is our trademarked name. And we went from booty bands and obviously the name is barbells because it just amplified into becoming now we're the first complete home gym for women that's out there. And we're so excited for this because 65% of women are absolutely terrified to go to the gym because of fear of judgment. And so, as women are trying to get their body back after children, et cetera, it's just such a great tool for them to step into their self. But we stand out differently because we have certified trainers in our app that are guiding them through each one of the workouts. We're not those like, oh, we're just going to do a short little quick video that we're not talking to you. That's absolutely absurd. So we really connect with our audience. And again, as we're established, I wasn't selling a product. I'm here to really make a transformation.
That is such a good point because a lot of times we start out with the best of intentions. We want to help, we want to serve. And I think most women get into creating their own business for those reasons to do it on their own terms, to get out, reach, make an impact. But somewhere along the way, sometimes we feel like we're chasing the money. And it's because we try to do 5-year goals in 3 days. We put so much pressure on ourselves, we put so much expectation. But coming back to that reasoning of why I got into this, you wanted to make it easier for women. You wanted to be comfortable for women so they're not snapping themselves. And I know exactly the band you're talking about. My kids are constantly snapping and hurting themselves with them. But you really are here to help. It's amazing. I want to know what is the biggest mindset shift women need to make or they start to make when they do prioritize themselves and their health? And I'm sure there's more than one, but what comes to mind for you?
The number one shift I would say is themselves getting in their own way. And I know that's so cliche, but probably one of the biggest things I see is that women expect this perfectionist mentality that it really corrupts and ruins the routine. I hear most often, I fell off my routine. I started and I stopped. I was going to do it tomorrow. Well, all of that is actually just being a perfectionist and not just focusing on the progression side of it. And so I think that would be the one thing, is allow yourself grace and step back and recognize that it is a journey, as you and I have talked about. That end destination is this false reality we all live in, that we're like, oh, when I get there, right? But when we get there, we're like, oh, but I want more. It's like the human nature. And so like once you grasp onto that and recognize that truly the gift is in the journey side of it, learning to love yourself, learning to find that balance, learning to set those boundaries, that is all part of really the progression and getting out of that perfectionist mentality.
Yes. We can't just fix, right? I want to lose 20 pounds today. I get on the scale tomorrow and I didn't lose any weight, and you get frustrated and you stop the routine. I see it too. I want to pay all my debt off today. I want the $1 million tomorrow. And it's a practice. It's not something that we fix overnight. And if we did fix it overnight, then what was the point of it? Because you just fall back off of it, off the routine. It is a complete lifestyle shift. I say money is a practice. It's something, like you said, we implement it slowly and we build some momentum going for it. And for you, the same way, right? We start taking these small steps, and to get that momentum to start it building, and you start to just feel better. You get more energy, you're sleeping better, your knee doesn't hurt as much. And all of those are the small wins and celebrations that we tend to just blow right past, don't we? Do you have any tips on that? How can you celebrate those small wins of getting a full night of sleep, of even having to get knee surgery or hip surgery, possibly having more energy to play with your kids? What are your thoughts on that?
On focusing on the small wins, or what do you mean about the injuries and stuff? What do you mean by that?
To me, that's a huge win, right? If all of a sudden your knee that's been hurting you for 5, 10 years doesn't hurt you anymore because you're getting healthier, strengthening your muscles, you're starting to put less pressure on it. That's a win that we tend to forget to celebrate, or we push right past because we're focused on the scale numbers, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a huge one, about focusing on the small wins, because we can get so focused on the things that we didn't accomplish in the day rather than things that we did accomplish. And so this is something that I actually would love to share with you how I've done it. We talked before about like those simple small changes. And so I will give you some insight as far as how I can work 15-hour days, be able to build my $12 million brand, and be able to still like be happy and in the journey, and still like going through this and waking up and just doing, loving to do it again, right?
Yes.
Because obviously as you continue to grow, you're going to find lots of those failures coming in and out. And so it can really suck you down. And I'm the face of the brand. And so can you imagine all the trolls that come out on the internet that love to give their opinion, right? So that can really bog you down. And so I would say the number one thing of focusing on those wins, this is what I do. At the end of the day, whoever it's with, and I would choose your partner is usually who I would choose, but you can even do your kids. Honestly, you can do this with anybody. It could be
I
your
love it with your kids. Yes.
yeah, whoever you want to do this with, and what you ask, and you make this a habit every day. At the end of the day, the end of the work day, school day, whatever it is, you just ask each other, what were your wins today? And you'll notice it's so hard to focus on those small wins at first, but it does get easier. But at first you're like, oh, well, it was good until this happened. And then you have to catch yourself. You're like, ooh, I'm going back into it.
Yes.
So what's instead is sometimes you just have to really narrow down. And it could just be as simple as, I woke up today. Like it literally can be that. Like whatever your wins are, when you focus on those, that's what perpetuates. That's what becomes bigger in your life. And so it really is about what you put in is what you get out. And I really focus on those small wins. So if your community could do that, I swear you guys, it can very much transform not only your life, but also the relationships around you.
I love it. I love it. Yes. It's so important. We talk about having a money miracle journal. I talk about this in my new book, Confessions of a Money Queen, because it's true. We forget all of those little wins. We push right past them and we focus on the negativity. And you had a great point. The more we talk and give gratitude for those wins and we showcase them, they become a reality. And all of a sudden, our entire day is one huge win or a series of wins. So it is whatever we're focusing on, our mind, what we're talking about, what we're looking for, that becomes our reality. So the more
Yeah.
we focus on the wins, the more we're just going to keep leveling up and expanding what our reality is like.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention it's important to have a hype woman around you, or maybe it's just your
Ooh.
hype husband or hype children, whatever it is. Find your audience that's really hyping you and make sure that you surround yourself around them. For me, I've got a girlfriend that walks into my warehouse and she's like, Danita, you have a warehouse. And I'm like, so? She's like, Danita, you have a warehouse. And I'm like,
Let's sink in.
that's kind of cool. Okay, okay, I like this. She brings me back into perspective sometimes, and allowing people to have that in your life, even if it just needs to be yourself, whatever it is, step back and go, wow, I did this. This is cool. And we get so in the mind of, as business women, to just get hunting for that next goal that we
Mountain
really
to
lose
climb.
sight of what the giant thing we've built behind us. So it is important to just have that hype woman. I love her to death, and I just appreciate all of those moments that she does that. It's important.
It is true. And to save those, I'll get texts or emails, comments, and I'll screenshot them and save them because there are times when we're in the swamp. Whether it's with our health, with our business, with our money, where things, it feels like you're hitting roadblock after roadblock. You can't make headway. Go back to those or bring her out to lunch. Bring out your hype woman out to lunch, grab drinks with her, do something to get
I mean,
out of that
just
funk.
because me and you right here on the call. Like, I am absolutely your hype woman. The fact that you've written your 4 books, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I went to even try, and I'm like literally like spinning in circles thinking, wow, like that's so impressive. And so even for yourself to sit back and be like, yeah, that's a big accomplishment that maybe you don't really see it, but from other people on the outside, we're like jaw dropped, like, wow, that's really awesome.
Thank you for saying that. I feel the same way about your warehouse. That's We're gonna have to do this at your warehouse one time because I would love to see that operational side of things. Anyway, tell me about the community that you've built for your women because it is special. It's different, and I feel like you kind of rebel against your industry, creating your own band, trying to always find better ways to work with women to give them the support that's sometimes lacking in the industry. I try to do the same thing on the financial side, but what is your community like, and how are you helping bring women together and offering them support beyond just the sale of the booty band?
Yeah, ooh, I like this one. It actually kind of brings me down to almost kind of emotional, I guess you could say, when you started talking about that, because I have such a deep joy of seeing women succeed. And it is in a world that we don't have that. There's a lot of judgment, a lot of jealousy, and a lot of like pushing down and stepping on people that, like, I started off seeing that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not the way. And so now being around successful, uh, empowering women, I'm learning that there are women out there that are going, no, give me your hand, let's do this together. And that is the tribe that I now surround myself with, and I make sure that everybody in my community knows that. So here are some ways that I do that. I still to this day will handle and jump in on customer support when needed. So I make sure that my customer support representatives know I am always there. I will never be that owner that's above customer support or above these certain roles. I even jump into my own warehouse, and on days that we are super behind in shipping, you will see me there in high heels and a dress, literally pushing out product. And my employees are like, what is happening? But they see that this is deeper than just a product. This is deeper than just to me, like, it's such a whole different meaning. So really there's a psychology aspect about our products. Our women, our community really believes that weightlifting makes you bulky.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take
Yeah.
that back. Not weightlifting, just lifting weights. That's what I'm not trying to go into any terms. So just using resistance bands and lifting weights, they think that that's for a man. Now, if you imagine psychology wise, that when they walk into a gym, they see these 8-foot long barbells with massive, big, bulky weights. They're black or steel or gray or grungy, sweaty. It
Not
usually
pretty.
smells pretty horrendous. And you've got men that are around them dropping weights, grunting, doing all sorts of stuff, staring at them. 65% of women are super uncomfortable about going to the gym. So
Yes.
if you look at the products behind me and having all of these like super awesome colors,
Mhm.
obviously we're USA made and we really pride ourselves in giving back to the local economies. But the psychology aspect of the colors allows them to see this sleeker design and allows them to go, hey, I can lift weights and I can look feminine and I can still keep my curves. And that to me is allowing women to start lifting weights because I know what the weight loss industry is. It's an $80 billion industry. And so being able to transform that and really support women to start lifting weights to get way better results, not for just now. I care about how you feel when you're 80 years old.
Yes.
Like Jessica, how you are like, I want you to be financially stable when you're over 80 years old. Like that, the long-term perspective that you and I both have about supporting women is for a longer term goal. So that's really what it is for me is my best thing I hear is when women not only send me their before and after pictures, that's great, you changed your body, but when I hear, Danita, I have hope and I am more confident and I feel good naked and I have more freedom in my sex life. Oh, like that hits me so much to the core of why I do this, that I will step into customer support in my warehouse in my high heels, whatever all day to hear that.
That's amazing. Amen to that. Yes. To feel good naked in front of the mirror. I have young children, so they're like, "What's that? What's that?" I have proud mama of two C-sections, so I have my scar, and I've come to learn to where before I hated it, to love and appreciate it. So to be able to appreciate our bodies and the power source of our bodies is so important. I love it. And you keep saying that statistic of women being intimidated at the gym. It's so similar to their money. 80% of women are uncomfortable talking about finances. So I can see the blocks, and you're right. The weight rooms are probably designed by men. Let's be honest. They are extremely ugly colors. Like you said, they smell. And I know I keep thinking of my mom. She's like, the gyms are they're just dirty. I don't want to go in there. They feel dirty and talk about being uncomfortable as well. So finding a way to make your workouts your own, do them on your own terms, and to feel good about them is going to allow you to keep doing it. That's the biggest thing. To want to come back to it, to want to keep feeling that way you do after your workout. Because let's be honest, we probably feel our best right after a workout.
Yeah, and there's this belief that that they have to be 45 minutes to an hour or more to be successful. And so I think this kind of relates to yours as well, that they have this imagination of like what they have to be to have financial freedom or their perfect body. And that literally can overwhelm them so much that it just kind of cripples them. So
Yes.
your 10 steps to money freedom is so beautiful. It's like a little Bible about how women can take those small steps. And that's something that we pride in too, because I mean, literally, this is so metaphoric. You and I speaking about whether it's financial or getting into your best shape is literally the same solution of success. And we focus on a 10 to 15-minute workout while you're at home. That in itself, because we focus on not just burning calories within the workout, but we focus on the calories that are burnt 24 to 48 hours after the workout when you're utilizing resistance bands and weights versus just cardio. So we emphasize that our short, quick, intense workouts, it's more about this consistency and staying on the routine of the 10 to 15 minutes than being so overwhelmed of having to do the 1 hour workout where you're not as consistent. And so how beautiful that you and I've talked about those simple, small steps and allowing women that after you do a workout, the endorphins that you get, the mindset, now that you can go to work and you can feel completed and accomplished and move forward with your day, whether that's the financial side of it in those small steps or whether that's the workouts in those small steps.
Exactly. And ladies, 15 minutes is 1% of your time each day. 1%. We can all give a 1% to that's being so efficient. 15 minutes, but we're still burning calories hours later. Extremely efficient. Same thing with our money. If we can just dedicate 1% of our income to savings or dedicate 15 minutes of our day to just become aware of what's going on. It doesn't need to be hours at a time, like you said. I love it. What are some small steps to get people re-engaged? Everyone's talking about the COVID-19. We all gained a little bit of weight. We drank too much. we baked too much, there's too many cookies and cupcakes at home. What are ways that we can get re-engaged? Because I'm guessing one of the big excuses is I don't have enough time.
Yeah, that's a big one. Not enough time is a big one. But that all comes down to mindset.
Mm.
And so the oh, sorry, I was muting myself. The first thing that comes down to when I have a 3-step program that allows women to go into the first phase, which is the mindset. And what it is, it's called a self-sabotage loop. And the first step is awareness. And the next one's action, and then that last one's ascend. You have to be aware of your loop that you're putting yourself in and how you're speaking to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking, then you're feeling, then you're doing. And most women are actually in what like an emotional eating or sabotage eating because there's a void that's going on in their life that's all generated here. It's not even realistic. It's something that happened back when they were like maybe 9 years old, and it's been generating for 20 plus years. And so women that are overweight are actually not lazy. They're not broken. They're not they're totally normal, beautiful human beings that have worked so hard. And if anything, they're actually starving themselves. A lot of people think like, oh, there must be overeating, but majority of those women are only eating 1 or 2 meals a day, and their body is actually holding on to the weight because your body is putting yourself into survival mode, which is actually sleep mode and holding on to all of the weight. And so it's so crazy. And
Listen up, ladies.
yeah, so it's very, very shocking. So the first step, obviously, is your mindset. Learning really what the loop is, step out of that and focus on really what you're saying to yourself. So if you're saying, I gained the COVID-15 and I've got all these cupcakes and blah, 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 like, what are you doing to yourself there? Really, really ask yourself, like, are you giving yourself grace? Are you being gentle? Like, what season have you been in your life that to just embrace where you're at to move forward? That's the first step.
Okay.
Second step is obviously nutrition that I dived into. Most women are putting themselves into some their survival mode with their body where they're not eating enough. That is so crazy to me, as I have been through a bikini competition and I've been able to transform my body. And I learned the one way was I was eating more. And that traumatizes women the same way it does with weights. Is they're like, wait a minute, weights I thought make me look bulky. No, weights make you look more toned. They burn the fat. Your muscle is your metabolism. So that whole shift is a big one, right? And then the eating is a huge one. I'm taking women down, and they're going, I've never eaten as much food in my life and losing weight. It's so beautiful to allow women to
That's a win-win.
So I think those are just some big ones of our 3 steps. So we do mindset, nutrition, and workouts of just first, be gentle to yourself. Embrace where your journey is. You can do this. Absolutely. Maybe there's some little educational tips that I can give you, and those educational tips will help you take you to the rest part of your next journey.
And I love that it's not that we failed. I say this to women with their money. You didn't fail. It was the plan. The plan failed because there was no plan, or it was a plan that was trying to fix everybody's problems, but you are unique to you. And we can't just put you in a box. Just like we can't put your health in a box. You might have family history, genetical issues. You might have a recent surgery, right? We need to find what's a way that's going to work for you. So I love that you said that. And I want all the women to know, yes, they aren't, it's not their fault why they are a certain way with their money, with their health, with their eating, whatever it is. They are exactly as they should be, but there are tools in your toolkit and my toolkit that can really help them feel better about where they are and also where they're going. Get clear on that vision of where they're going. Instead of just saying, I want to lose weight, let's really get clear on how is that going to change your life? Is it just losing the weight, or is it gaining the energy, gaining the confidence? How you're showing up in the world. Such a big piece. Where can people find the booty bands and the barbells, especially the pink color? I love it.
Right. It's awesome. So we're very simple. It's bootybands.com. I think that's
bootybands.com.
as simple as it gets right now. Yeah, we just created our new website. which is now it's called like a build your booty gym. So like we have a complete home gym that's designed specifically for women. You can make it as little or as big as you possibly want it. We have all the different products that you can add and custom your own little home gym. And so that's just, it's kind of like Build-A-Bear if you've ever seen or heard that website.
Yes. I love it. And just think like making your own little space yours and to surround yourself with these amazing colors, with smells, with sounds, the music that you want. Make your own little sanctuary at your home. And you have your podcast, you have so much support on social media. Where can they find you on social media?
Social media, we are Booty Bands Official on Instagram. We've got YouTube, which is just YouTube / Booty Bands. I think we're on every platform. I think it's actually kind of hard to miss us. I think a lot of people, when I say we're the
Get the
original
Booty Bands.
they're like, oh, right. They definitely have seen our ads, and we're definitely all over the place. So we are on a mission to help change 1 billion women's lives, and we're not stopping. We're going to be empowering women the whole way through.
Leveling up the assets, ladies. Emphasis on the ass. Leveling up our assets in so many different ways. Thank you, Danita, for being on with us. So grateful for you. I love what you are building. I love that you have a warehouse. That is freaking cool. And we love bringing powerhouse women like you onto our blog, Not Your Father's Advisor. And this is like Not Your Father's Gym. Let's stop playing to the old school version of a gym and let's build it for our own. All right. Thank you again. Bootybands.com, ladies.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Have a great one.
You too.